Hi, my name's Kevin, and I'm an axe addict. Hey guys, it's Kevin here in the shop on a rainy Saturday, and in the past 2 weeks, the mail items have really been collecting on my desk. I think it's safe to say I have a problem, but there are really cool items in here, and I wanted to share those with you, so I thought we'd do an unboxing. Let's go ahead and get into the first ones. All right, first up in the axe category is the salacious French curve handle produced by Killinger. Killinger just put some handles up for sale, and of course they go like hotcakes. And having just hung one of these French curve handles, I had to have another one in my arsenal. Don't really have plans for it exactly, but I know someday it'll have a head that it'll go on. So yeah, but that's not the only one I managed to get. This is the one I'm super excited about. He said I was gonna love it. This is one of Killinger's double bit handles. And man, at first glance, this thing is wicked. I just love that when you put your hands on his handles, you know that you don't have to do anything to them. Just hang them. Oh wait, there's more. Another handle. It's like the stocking that just keeps giving, and this one is from Lane at Lamica Axes. It's also a cruiser handle, and it is also a beautiful piece of lumber, as you would expect. I've taken a peek at this already. Different feel to it than Killinger's. Has a much bigger knob on it, if that's the sort of thing you like. Oh, and while it doesn't have a kerf, it did come with a wedge, purple heartwood, gorgeous. Now let's go take a closer look at these handles. And I don't think we need to go over grain orientation this way. You guys know if you're buying axes from Lane or from Killinger, especially at this length, you're gonna get perfect grain orientation. What is interesting, or really sweet about these, is that they have 0 run out. I see a lot of guys calling like this kind of thing online run out. That's not run out, that's the grain of the wood. Run out is when the grain is sawn this way, so the grain wants to come out the side. That's really difficult to even get when you have grain that runs perpendicular like that, because the piece of wood is sawn in such a way that all the grain runs straight through the handle. That is ideal. On the Lamica axe, it has this like interesting, I don't know if this is dry checking or what you would call this, but it will be interesting because I am going to take a little bit off of this handle to see if this is just the grain structure, or if it's some kind of dry checking that might be a problem. I don't think so. I think it's just an interesting grain structure, but should be noted. All right, now that we got the axe handles out of the way, let's take a look at the axe heads. Yes, there are axe heads. 2 of them, actually. Told you I had a problem. And the first one is... This is an HB 2.5 pound vintage single bit, but that's not the only one we got. Let's take a look at the other. These came from eBay. Nice little touch there, packaged in the American flag. This is a Sater Banco cruiser bit. After having bought that Grand Force cruiser bit and putting that on a handle, I just couldn't resist getting another one. They're great little axes. And when I saw this one, which needs some loving, I just couldn't resist. So we got 2 handles. Maybe this will be one of the next one-day builds. Let's take a closer look at these. Now on to the axe heads, which is probably what most of you are here for. I found another cruiser bit. They're hard to find, but not impossible if you spend enough time on eBay looking and pay what they're asking. This is 8 5/8 across, as it should be. And as most cruisers that I've seen anyway, they dedicate one side in the forging process to splitting or grubbing and the other side for felling. I thought that was a myth for the longest time, thinking that double bits, the guys really were sharpening both of them as sharp as they could get for felling, and then when one got damaged, they would use that as the sacrificial side. But it's not the case with these cruiser bits. You can see that side is 0.68 and this side a 0.55. So this side is clearly forged for felling and bucking, and this side for splitting. Sater Benko, made in Sweden. It's taken some damage. It's got some dings and it's heavily pitted. So I probably am going to take some aggressive flap discs at this and take the steel down some. I doubt I'll be looking for like a mirror polish. I just want to get some of that pitting out, though this is perfectly serviceable. It does have some chips in the bit which would need filed out, but that's not a big deal. The other one, also made in Sweden, is not a 2.5 pounder. It's actually 2 1/4, which is probably why I purchased it. I'm always looking for like odd weights, anything between 1 3/4 pounds up to like 3 1/4. Of course, 1 3/4, 2.5 pounds, and 3.5 pounds are really common, but in between that is not so common. And this little Swedish beauty here with the blue paint still on it is 2 1/4. All right, back to the mail card here. You can't have axe handles and heads without wedges.
Holy moly!
So yeah, I shouldn't need wedges for pretty much the rest of my life. But check out some of these gorgeous axe wedges. I mean, my two favorites are right here. These laminated wedges, which you will pay quite a bit for. I can't remember what they are a piece, but they're not cheap. But if you got a decorative axe, this is the wedge to use. We got box elder, we got some more purple hearts. I pretty much got 2 of everything they offered. I got 4 white pine, only because sometimes softwood is preferable when you have a really tight kerf and you don't think you're going to be able to jam some hardwood in there. New. All right, back at the mail cart again. Still 2 packages left to go. Told you I had a problem. Let's do this one next. We'll save what I think is the best for last. This is obviously a draw knife, intended for another one-day build. So we'll call that, yeah, about a 9-inch draw knife. I don't see a stamp on it, and I'm not entirely sure who made it. I don't know much about draw knives. Maybe, again, one of you guys can tell me. It's intact. The handles are not loose, which is the main thing I was concerned with. It still has plenty of metal to be filed back, though it is very dull, and has 1 or 2 minor chips in it. Not sure if you guys can see that or not. The main thing I struggle with when I get a vintage tool like this is, how far do you take the restoration? I really like the idea that it's been used and that somebody has held onto this and skinned the bark off of trees or what have you. But I always intend to do a full restoration, like, clean up the metal, take it back, make it nice and shiny, sand down the wood, restain it, polish it up. And it's not going to be something I'm going to use very often. So maybe I will do that this time, but I always say that, and I just can't bring myself to get rid of that old patina. All right, last but certainly not least, at least not in my mind, this is for you sharpening gurus out there. You guys are gonna know what this is and love it. I can't wait to see this. This is for you Japanese whetstone guys. It's like opening the Holy of Holies. Those of you who are whetstone guys already know what this is. This is what is known as the green brick of joy. And man, does it just give you joy looking at it. This is a 2000 grit stone. Whew. Feels lovely. For those of you who are not into sharpening by hand, I don't know how else to explain this, but when you get into fine Japanese whetstones, it's addictive. I don't know if it's the colors or the feel or the sharpness that you can attain, but these stones are just gorgeously made. And I've wanted this one for a while. And I gotta give a shout out here to Kyle Noseworthy. He's a YouTuber. He goes by Newfoundland Hobbyist. He makes knives. He's a knife maker and he makes some beautiful knives, but he's also done plenty of sharpening videos. And he did an unboxing recently where he used one of these green bricks of joy. And I'm like, yeah, it's finally time to pull the trigger on that. So thanks, Kyle. I got another whetstone in my collection because of you. And I owe you a big gratitude of thanks. And on to the star of the show as far as I'm concerned, and that is Nanawa's Green Brick of Joy. Nanawa makes some of the finest whetstones the world has to offer, and this is especially desired among collectors simply because of its size. I certainly will never wear this stone down in my lifetime, and I doubt anybody else will. If you wear one of these guys down, you are doing some serious sharpening. I'm told that this is like a semi-splash and go, and that's what I prefer. That means that it doesn't absorb a lot of water and you don't have to soak it. So let's check that out and see if that's true. It is taking on a little bit of water there, but not very much. That's why they consider it a semi-soaking stone. Yeah, I mean, it's taking on no water now. I like that because I just don't have time to soak a stone when I want to sharpen. Yeah, that's ready to sharpen.